Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Tullahoma 6 News in HD. I'm Jamie Treadwell. A large portion of Cedar Lane was closed yesterday following a diesel spill.
And I'm Shannon Hamblin. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter will be hosting a special event for animals of the city.
First on 6, drivers during the morning rush hour were greeted with an unwelcome situation. A truck traveling in the southbound lane of Cedar leaked diesel fuel from William Northern Boulevard down to West Lincoln Street. The cause of the spill is yet to be determined, and the fuel spill tied up the second busiest road in Tullahoma as city and state crews worked to clean it up. The road was reopened just before 10 a.m.
And speaking of fuel, gas prices in the state continue to edge their way upward this week. Drivers are paying an average $2.49 per gallon as of yesterday afternoon. The national gas price average has risen 44 cents since the 1st of January, setting Monday's national average at $2.69. That is up 7 cents from last week and 27 cents during this time more 27 cents more than last month. That being said, it is only marginally higher than this time last year, having risen by 4 cents. The low fuel price in Tullahoma was $2.56.
A utility worker has died Tuesday morning when a trench that he was working near collapsed. The incident happened on Pfeiffer Mine Road in Van Buren County. The county highway department had been adding a culvert due to the recent flooding. Spencer Utility was called in to assist after the county hit a water line. While repairs were being made, the trench collapsed on the Spencer Utility worker, trapping him. Crews responded to the scene around 11:45 and were still working at 5 p.m. to free the man. A body has since been recovered, and OSHA is currently investigating the death.
A large fire threatened Short Springs Natural area Saturday afternoon. In the mid-afternoon, Hickerson Station Volunteer Fire Department was called to the natural area by the Tullahoma Fire Department for a large fire in the woods. The fire was in a remote area that was only accessible by hiking a long distance through the steep terrain with hills. The State Forestry Department did assess a portion of the area affected by the fire with a dozer. Much of the fire had to be fought on steep hills in hazardous conditions. The fire was contained with minimal damage.
It's easy to understand many of the reasons Tullahoma is one of the best micropolitan areas in the state. The city is committed to being better stewards of the environment. Tullahoma will be hosting the second annual Earth Day Festival on Saturday, January 27th. Prior to the festival, the City Public Works Department will be holding a community cleanup event. Here's Community Coordinator Winston Brooks to tell us more.
So we're going to celebrate Earth Day, and we're going to start out with a community beautification project. And we're asking everyone to go out and help us keep the community clean by picking up litter in your neighborhood. And for those people who may want to get service hours or get credit, they need to report to Public Works at 8 a.m. And the official event runs 8 until 11. But if you're having fun, no need to stop at 11. Public Works is located at 942 Maplewood Drive, and their phone number is 454-1768. And just let them know that you're going to be coming down there. And if you happen to have a hot spot that you want to report, it's also a great time to go ahead and report that hot spot so we can get it cleaned up on that day. When you go down to Public Works, you'll be greeted by the friendly staff down there. There'll be a little breakfast, some juice. You'll get some gloves, grabbers, bags, and they'll send you out to an assigned spot to start picking up litter from different places. And then, again, like I said, we also just want to encourage people just to pick up in their own neighborhood. There's no need to necessarily go to Public Works unless you want to be counted. And that's all happening on April 27th, which is when Tullahoma will be celebrating Earth Day. So after you do some great volunteer work helping to keep Tullahoma clean, you can show up at Fraser McEwen Park at 1 o'clock, and we're going to have over 30 earth-friendly vendors at the park. There's going to be live music that evening also. Lee Gibson, a night in Nashville, and he'll have a couple of his Nashville musicians enjoying the stage with him, playing some great music. He's kind of got like an Elvis deep voice, plays a little country. It's going to be a great night. The event is sponsored by Cherokee Distributing, ISWA, and Old Sheds. So there'll be some adult beverages out there while you're walking around, some great food trucks. And I just wanted to also give a flavor of the different vendors out there. We've got the Lynchburg Microbrewery is going to be there, Tim's Ford representatives, the Tree Board, and the Tree Board is going to be there celebrating Arbor Day and be celebrating the fact that we're once again a Tree City USA. And TUA will hopefully join us out there as a tree line city, tree line. And Tullahoma has been having effective urban forestry management for well over 30 years and been getting these awards because of their stewardship of the trees and the tree canopy in Tullahoma. So come on out, so you can start out by cleaning up, then come out and enjoy Earth Day, have the Arbor Day celebration, and there's a lot more happening. This event is going to be fun for the whole family, and it's been a great effort by Alderman Robin Dunn, who has really been spearheading our Green Council the last couple of years. So we just want to shout out to her for putting this all together.
And there's a correction on the last story. The Earth Day event will be April the 27th instead of January the 27th. Coffee County ranked 4th in the state and 51st in the nation in micropolitan areas when it comes to economic strength. Micropolitans must have an urbanized area with a population less than 50,000 but more than 10,000. This ranking was announced by Polycom. Sevierville ranked 1st in the state. The greater Nashville area ranked 1st in the nation for metropolitan locations.
It's pretty impressive that Nashville's ranking 1st in the state. In the nation, I mean. Tullahoma Animal Shelter and Animal Control work tirelessly to care for forgotten pets in the community and to ensure the safety of pets and the citizens of the community. On Saturday, April 13th, the shelter will host their annual Vaccinate Your Pet Day. A portion of the proceeds from that day of the vaccines, the nail trimmings, and the ear cleanings will go to the Animal Shelter Medical Fund. Here's new Animal Control Supervisor Jeff Wilson to tell us more.
Okay, so we've got our 8th annual Vaccinate Your Pet Day coming up. It's going to be on April 13th, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday. So this event has been one of our major fundraisers behind Bark in the Park. Everyone knows Bark in the Park, but this is something that also supports the community because it's basically $12 rabies vaccines. And rabies is a pretty serious disease, not just for the pets themselves, dogs and cats, but also it can be passed on to humans. So this benefits the community while supporting the shelter. It's going to every $2 from the $12 vaccine will go to our medical fund. Right. So people are also able to bring their dogs there and cats and get their nails trimmed or ears cleaned for $5 a piece for either of the services. This is all being sponsored by Lakeside Veterinary Clinic. If you come out there and you get your cat, your dog vaccinated, not only is it good for them, but as I mentioned before, it'll help us raise funds here, and the money would be used toward our spay and neuter programs, along with general veterinary bills to support any of the animals that come in here that are sick. So come down to 942 Maplewood Avenue for our fundraiser. Not only will it benefit your cat and your dog, but it'll benefit us and allow us to raise a little bit of money for the medical fund and our spay and neuter programs. Yeah, I want to say a major thank you to Lakeside Veterinary Clinic for helping us sponsor this event. It's great that an organization like that is willing to, and outside of this, they give us special shelter prices and everything like that. So they have a personal mission to not just benefit pets in general, but they have a real heart for shelter dogs and cats. So major thank you to Lakeside Veterinary Clinic.
Coming up next on Tullahoma 6 News in HD, we'll hear about the upcoming Lunch and Learn hosted by Parks and Recreation.
And Susan discusses a novel that spans a time of considerable change in the world centered around the turn of the 20th century. Mark your calendar for the Blood Assurance Heroes Golf Tournament. The fun will take place on Friday, May the 3rd at Lakewood Golf and Country Club. Special guests include former NFL player Gerald Riggs and musical artist Gary Chapman. This event benefits the Crystal Green Memorial Scholarship Program.
Can you imagine a world without beauty, without color, without creativity, without art? Well, neither can we. Keep arts alive and experience all kinds of arts and crafts at the 2nd Annual Arts Alive Tullahoma on the newly renovated lawn of the South Jackson Civic Center, May 25th and 26th. For details, visit TullahomaArtsCouncil.com and come spend the day at our fun, family-friendly arts festival.
Tullahoma Earth Day Festival. Let's start a chain reaction that creates action. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Join us for the second annual Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 27th, starting at 1 p.m. at Fraser McEwen Park. Enjoy an evening of music, a night in Nashville with Lee Gibson and Company. This free event has over 30 earth-friendly vendors, kids' activities, food, beer, and more. Special thanks to our sponsors. That's Tullahoma's Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m.
Mark your calendar for the 2019 Tullahoma High School graduation. You can watch live on LightTube Channel 6 or the TUA Facebook page. Don't miss your favorite THS senior enjoying their special moment. Tune into LightTube Channel 6 on May 17th at 7:30 p.m. Congratulations to the class of 2019. Welcome back to Tullahoma 6 News in HD. In this week's Book Talk, we visit with Susan Stovall, Director of Lanham Library, to see what she's reading and recommending right now for a good book. This week, it's the Caxley Chronicles by Miss Red. Here is Susan to tell us more about it.
Okay, we have Miss Reed, and this says the Caxley Chronicles, and it is because this is 2 books. But I didn't read both books, so we're just talking about Market Square. And if you're not familiar with Miss Reed, she belongs to a genre that people used to call gentle reads. And it was huge before Christian fiction came along because it has the same things that attract people. There's no graphic sex, there's no graphic violence in these books. Now, the difference in gentle read and Christian fiction is there may be people of faith in a gentle read, maybe not. And if there are people of faith, it may be their motivation, you know, but it's not the main point of their character. It's just a facet of their character. But like I said, that Miss Reed has been writing. She wrote from 1955 to her last book was published in 2010. That is quite a career. She was a British school teacher who was born in London but moved to the countryside and was raised, and all her books are set in small British villages. And you may remember a few years back when Jan Carone was a big hit, you know, and Jan Carone was definitely influenced, I suspect, by Miss Reed. Miss Reed, in my opinion, is so much better. Her books may not be deep, but they're never superficial. If you've lived in a small town, I think you will definitely relate to her books. This particular book is actually set more in the past than some of them. Market Square starts with the death of Queen Victoria and ends in the middle 1930s. And it really gave me an appreciation of how much happened in that little bit of time. But on the whole, it just seems like a better world. So when you're looking for some cheering up or something restful, or you want a nice, I hate to say safe book because it makes it sound boring, and they're not boring. I think she's genius in that she makes this gentle world very interesting and appealing. And like I said, she's not the only person to be described as a gentle read. But, you know, if you don't like books with a lot of violence and you don't like graphic sex, you're looking for something you can buy your mother-in-law maybe, try Miss Reed. She does 2 other series. This is actually the shortest series, the Caxley Chronicles. She does the Fairacre series and Thrush Green. They're both villages. Those are much longer series. She died a few years back, a few days before her 99th birthday. So living well is obviously good for you. And there are generations of Miss Reed lovers. And I think if you give her a try, you probably will be too. And this is Susan Stovall with this week's Book Talk.
If you are a music lover, you will definitely want to head out to D.W. Wilson next week as Tullahoma Parks and Recreation hosts Nashville singer-songwriter Jay Edwards for the April Lunch and Learn. Edwards has a voice that will remind you why old country is held in such high regard. This is the second part of the songwriter series. Jay Edwards will also be featured at an upcoming event hosted by Parks and Recreation.
We do. Our April Lunch and Learn is a gentleman from out of town. He's from up around Nashville. His name is Jay Edwards, and Jay is an initial. It's just Jay, the letter, Edwards, and he is a singer-songwriter from Nashville. He has an extraordinary voice and an extraordinary just arsenal of really good songs. Very like a gravelly voice, country style, like a mix of, I think it says on his website, Bob Seger and some of the older country stars. He's got some really good songs out there. So he's going to be coming up in June, actually, to play for the Grape and Grain Festival. And so we decided to have him go ahead and come on in and do a lunch and learn, talk about his songwriting process and all of the cool things that he's experienced and all of his time in the music industry. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good show. He's going to play some songs and talk about how he wrote them. It's going to be really good. If you'd like to attend, it's going to be at the D.W. Wilson Community Center on April 17th. It's a Wednesday. We're going to start lunch between 11:30 and 11:45, and the program will start promptly at 12. It costs $9 to attend, and that includes lunch and the program. And we expect it to last just about an hour. And we've got 2 lunch and learns planned directly after that that are going to be really interesting. We have a gentleman from up in he's actually from Pennsylvania, but now he lives in the McMinnville area, who survived a pretty harrowing experience in a slot canyon out in Utah for 6 days. And he has agreed, his name is Dave, and he's going to come up and talk to us in May. And then in June, we have Richard Gross coming to talk to us about his geodes. He has hunted worldwide for geodes, and he's going to bring some of them in and talk about his experience doing that and where you can find them around here.
This week at the City of Tullahoma Animal Shelter, there's a 6-year-old boxer mix named Tella for adoption. She is a quiet, calm, and sweet lady that really just wants to sit in your lap or cuddle on the couch. Tella, like all dogs at this shelter, is looking for her forever home, so go out and check them all out. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter would like to remind you that they always have a great variety of dogs to choose from for adoption. The shelter, located at 942 Maplewood Avenue, has an ongoing need for donations of dog-related items and monetary donations to provide medical care.
Casa Works will be hosting its annual, what is that?
I Am for the Child.
I Am for the Child 5K walk and fun run on April the 6th at Fraser McEwen Park. This year's theme will be superheroes, and participants are encouraged to come dressed as their favorite superhero. Following the 5K, you can meet some local superheroes, enjoy food, entertainment, and get some important information. The race will begin at 8 a.m. and the cost is $35. You can register for the 5K by calling the Casa Works office at 455-7426 or going to their Facebook page and clicking on the link.
Mark your calendars for the 7th annual Piping on the Green on April 6th, hosted by the Celtic Cup. Come out and listen to the music of bagpipes as you peruse all the wonderful arts and crafts for sale. There will also be workshops and demonstrations, as well as authentic Scottish food. Admission is free. For a list of activities and times, check out the Celtic Cup Facebook page.
The 5th annual Women Impacting the Community Awards Luncheon, presented by the Tullahoma Area Chamber of Commerce and sponsored by Smart Bank, will be held on Tuesday, April the 9th. The Chamber is currently accepting nominations in the following categories: business, community service, education, and lifetime achievement. Cost is $25, and the event will be held at the beautiful Lakewood Golf and Country Club. There will also be cheesecake by the Cheesecakery. And to make reservations or to nominate a candidate, go to Tullahoma Chamber at tullahoma.org or call the Chamber at 455-5497.
And if you can't make it, Shannon, I'll be sure to get you some cheesecake.
Oh, yes.
If you're looking to fill your Tennessee Promise volunteer requirements, or you need some CPUs, the Special Olympics of Lower Cumberland Region Area 13 has just the ticket. This fun gig allows you to follow a competing athlete for the day. Cheer your athlete on and help them to achieve their dream. Lunch and souvenir t-shirt are provided for each volunteer, and the deadline to register to volunteer is April the 15th, and the event will be on May the 2nd. To sign up as a volunteer, send an email to stalo@charter.net.
On April the 17th, Lunch and Learn will host musical guest and Nashville legend Jay Edwards. Jay will share stories of how music is created and possibly a song or two. You can also hear about some of the other legends he has worked with along the way. Lunch will be served at 11:45 and cost to attend is $9. To make reservations, call 455-1121.
That sounds like a fun day. Coming up next on Tullahoma 6 News in HD, we'll have your work week weather forecast for you.
And not only weather, but we'll also take a look at local sports right after this.
Join us on the Tullahoma Utilities Authority grounds Tuesday, May 7th from 3 until 5:30 p.m. for the Drinking Water Week celebration. There will be fun for all with door prizes, food, the Tullahoma Fire Department bounce house, and the ever-popular prize wheel. So remember, join us Tuesday, May 7th from 3 until 5:30 p.m. and remember, protect the source.
Mark your calendar for the 2019 Tullahoma High School graduation. You can watch live on LightTube Channel 6 or the TUA Facebook page. Don't miss your favorite THS senior enjoying their special moment. Tune into LightTube Channel 6 on May 17th at 7:30 p.m. Congratulations to the class of 2019.
Does your family love to stream movies and use multiple Wi-Fi enabled devices? But are you finding out that your run-of-the-mill router simply can't keep up? Don't worry, LightTube has you covered with our internet router service for only $9.95 per month. Get back to what your family loves doing. Call us today at 455-4515 to learn more.
You wanna dance?
Check out Stingray Music on TV. Now available, the new Stingray Music mobile app, free with your TV subscription. Stingray Music, all good vibes.
Welcome back. Well, Shannon, what is today's National Day?
It is National Rainbow Day.
Well, that's perfect. You love rainbows, don't you?
I do. My husband says I'm obsessed with taking pictures of them when they appear. So National Find a Rainbow Day is observed annually on April the 3rd. It is a spectrum of light that in a form of multicolored arc and appearing in the sky is caused by both reflection and refraction of light in water droplets in the Earth's atmosphere. And rainbows always appear directly opposite of the sun.
Speaking of taking pictures, this picture was taken by our producer right out back. So it just shows that the rainbows all end at TUA. Isn't that wonderful? There you go. And let's hear sports, Shannon.
We're going to go do the weather first.
Oh, that's true. I forgot all about the weather. Well, I'll tell you why I forgot about the weather. A high of 71 today and some blue skies, but, Randy, let's see what the rest of the week looks like. Rain, and more rain, but it's going to be in the 70s, as you pointed out earlier. It could be cold, but at least it'll be warm. So, and you have nothing less than a 20% chance on Saturday, and you might dodge a bullet there, but the rest of the week it's pretty significant. 50 all the way up to 60% on Thursday. So you're definitely going to get at least a little wet. So, but yeah, as Randy pointed out, good temperature. So a little wet, but we need the grass to grow, right? Isn't that right, Shannon?
Yes.
So that's
green up.
That's your weekend weather. Now let's hear some local sports.
In local sports, the Tullahoma High School Lady Cats softball advanced to 9-6 for the season and 3-1 in the District 8 AAA play after they shut out the Columbia Lady Lions Monday night 4-0. The defense held strong with Jenna Jones on the mound. Jones only allowed 3 hits the entire night. The offense was spot on as well. Jessica Tank Eddy proved herself on both sides. She was unflappable behind the plate and pushed the runners in with a double in the 5th. They are having a solid season, and you can catch the replay on the Columbia game on LightTube Channel 23 at 7 o'clock tonight.
Now let's give the boys their fare. Tullahoma Wildcats baseball team secured a come-from-behind win over Cookeville Friday night. The Cats mounted a 10-5 victory over the Cavaliers. Tullahoma smashed 4 home runs after trailing 4-0. Race Marin had 2, with Tommy McCullough and Cam Hargrove each notching a homer for the night. That seemed to take the wind out of the Cavaliers' sails for the night, and the Cats are 7-4 for the season and 2-2 in District 8 triple play.
The Tullahoma High School soccer team is having a tough start to the season. Don't let that deter you from going out there. There's a lot of ball to be played, but success has not come easy. What did appear to be effortless was a 7-1 trouncing over Lawrence County on Friday night. Goalkeeper Will Stone did not have to work very hard, but he did save 3 balls for the night. On Saturday, the Cats tied St. Andrews in a 1-1 contest. The boys will host Franklin County later tonight, and we wish them luck. And that wraps up our local sports, so we'll be back right after this.
Mark your calendar for the Blood Assurance Heroes Golf Tournament.
The fun will take place on Friday, May the 3rd at Lakewood Golf and Country Club. Special guests include former NFL player Gerald Riggs and musical artist Gary Chapman. This event benefits the Crystal Green Memorial Scholarship Program.
Can you imagine a world without beauty, without color, without creativity, without art? Well, neither can we. Keep arts alive and experience all kinds of arts and crafts at the second annual Arts Alive Tullahoma on the newly renovated lawn of the South Jackson Civic Center, May 25th and 26th. For details, visit TullahomaArtsCouncil.com and come spend the day at our fun, family-friendly arts festival.
Tullahoma Earth Day Festival. Let's start a chain reaction that creates action. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Join us for the second annual Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 27th, starting at 1 p.m. at Fraser McEwen Park. Enjoy an evening of music, a night in Nashville with Lee Gibson and Company. This free event has over 30 earth-friendly vendors, kids' activities, food, beer, and more. Special thanks to our sponsors. That's Tullahoma's Earth Day Festival on Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Before we leave you today, we'd like to thank our news team members, 93.9 The Duck, and your local newspaper, the Tullahoma News, for their help and support.
If you'd like to be a part of the team, send an email to news@lighttube.net or just call our news hotline at 571-7186. We'll be sure to let us know about any upcoming activity, event, or story idea, and we'll do our best to get the word out. You can also like us on Facebook. Just search for TUA LightTube, where we update you on the latest news and events.
That's it for this Wednesday edition of Tullahoma 6 News in HD. As always, we thank you for watching, and we hope you'll join us again on Friday.
Have a great evening. We'll see you then.
Go find your rainbow, right,
That's
Shannon?
right. I don't think we'll see one tonight, but maybe next week.
Lots of rain, lots of chances.
And sunshine mixed in there.
There you go.